This lady literally has a warrant out for her arrest. We gotta save her. Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You have probably already watched part one of this video, and if you haven't, go back to the channel and watch part one because it's going to make much more sense. But we're negotiating liens here. So on part one, you heard me talk to the co-violation department because we have a seller that we had under contract. And 2 days later, we found out that there's a $30,000 lien that completely smoked the deal for everybody. So this isn't a problem as long as you understand how to sell and you understand sales and you understand how to persuade and you understand how to negotiate. You'll be able to get whatever you want pretty much. And that's the power of sales. Now, you're going to hear me on this call. I'm going to talk to the seller after I just talked to the co-violation department. And then you're going to hear me talk to the co-violation department again, and you'll hear the good news. Let's get into it. Tracy, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's Mike. We spoke last week.
Yes.
So I spoke with the city. They are working on things. I'll probably have to follow up with them either tomorrow or the day after that.
But they said what?
So they didn't give me like a specific decision. They're going to work on things, but pretty much they were like, hey, and pretty much the whole entire story that you told me, they were just like, hey, we have this, the property here, there's a lien on it because of trash here that was never removed and all this different type of stuff. They were like, the court really isn't budging. And then I was like, well, I mean, what are you guys' plans? And then just like you said, they said, well, we're going to tear down the property and, you know, just sell the land. I'm like, well, don't you guys think it would be an easier course of action for you guys and everybody in the situation in the neighborhood to just have somebody pay the lien off and fix everything? And he's like, yeah. So pretty much he's going to the attorney who is in charge of everything and seeing if the money that we would end up buying the house with, if they would be comfortable with using that as the payoff of the lien and pretty much just wash everything away. So
including a warrant? Including the cases that we have against us?
Yeah, he mentioned that as well. So I don't know. I can't make any promises. So he just said that he's going back to them and he's trying to figure it out. But I just explained to him, I'm like, hey, it doesn't make much sense for you guys to go ahead, take over the property, tear the thing down, sell the lot. That's like a whole entire year-long process. It's like, why not just have somebody pay the lien off and then come in, buy the house, and clean everything up? And he's like, yeah, well, that makes sense.
That's what I tried to tell him, and he wouldn't listen to me.
Sometimes they just need a kick in the butt.
When are you supposed to know? Because my husband goes off work next week between the 8th and the 10th, and he wants to go down there and get all of our stuff out of there.
He told me he'd let me know here in the next couple days. So he said Kevin, I guess, is the attorney. He said he might reach out to me, but he gave me his direct number. So I'm going to give him a shout tomorrow regardless to follow up and see how it went. But what could potentially happen is we end up, and like I said, would all have to be in agreement on this. Unfortunately, it would result into no proceeds going to you guys from the sale of the property because the lien is tying all that stuff up. But essentially, we're trying to negotiate for what we're under contract with, for that being just the payoff for the lien, and then taking care of the warrants and the lien itself, and then the property just gets transferred over to us. So we're trying to see if we can make that happen. Like I said, we just gotta wait on.
Either way, we wouldn't have been able to get the property get any money anyways, because if we would have signed the property over and you guys wouldn't have been able to get the property, we still wouldn't have got money.
Exactly.
Because we would have still had to sign the property over to city. So.
Exactly, and that's what the city was saying. That's what he was saying. He was like, well, you know, last conversation we had with them and the courts and stuff like that is they might just have to sign the property back over to us. And I was like, well, you guys aren't in the business to own properties. That's what we do. Why not just have somebody else take care of it? It would be much easier. That way you don't have to tear our house down and do all that. So he's like, yeah, that makes sense. So he's going to go back. He's not like the final decision maker. He was one of the guys in the office, but he is pretty much next up to the attorney that is making the decisions, I guess. So he's going to go ahead and talk. I can't make any promises, Tracy, but all I can do is try my best.
And the only thing I know to do is if he says no to you guys, I'm just probably going to end up having to sign the property over to him because I'm not going to jail for anybody.
I understand that.
I'm not going to jail for anybody. I'll sign the property over to them before I even go to jail just so I can get my stuff out of there because, like I said, I've got my dogs down there still, and I've got people staying in the house right now taking care of my dogs. I've got all my stuff down there, all my daughter's stuff down there. I can't afford to lose anything right now.
I got you. That doesn't make any sense. So all we can do is just wait for an answer for them. Like I said, I'll follow up tomorrow with them.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Tracy. No problem. Talk soon.
Okay, so that was the call with the seller. This lady literally has a
Oh,
warrant out
no.
for her arrest. We gotta save her. Listen to the call that we get back from the violation department. Let's get into it.
We would have to discuss with the city judge. We have court on Thursday afternoon at 3:30. So that's when we would be discussing it with the judge, and then we would have to get back to you after that.
Sounds like a plan. So do you guys have a hearing with the sellers as well, or is that just you guys?
No, that's just us because there are bench warrants for the sellers at this point. So
All right. All right, cool. So it sounds like you guys got a meeting for that on Thursday, and you guys will have a better idea of, like, you know, the whole situation, how you guys would be okay with going about it on Thursday.
yeah.
Cool. All right, Brian. Well, I appreciate you so much, brother. And I'll hear back from you hopefully maybe Friday. I'll give you a shout Friday. I'm actually leaving out of the country on Monday, and I'm not working on the weekend. So I could try my best to give you a shout next week if I don't hear from you on Friday. But just feel free to give me a shout. I'll try to answer it, and just leave a voicemail if I don't.
Next day, the things that may be helpful. I'd asked you a question yesterday when I talked to you. You really didn't have the answer for, and that was, you know, who it is that you work with locally here,
Mm-hmm.
and what company they may be with. So I know you told me.
What we'll do, we'll just get you over everything like that. We give our sellers like proof of funds, all that type of stuff. Exactly the LLCs that we'll be closing under, and all that type of stuff that you guys need to show that we're actually that we're the actual people closing on it, and that we have the ability and all that.
Yeah, but we need a little bit more feel good than that. I can tell you that right now, because we want to make sure that it's going to get followed through with, and that this mess is going to get cleaned up.
For sure. So what do you got? What do you guys need?
Well, I mean, that's why I was asking. You know, I assume you're not going to personally come down from Massachusetts to work with this place.
No.
I think you have somebody here locally. You'll be working with, whether it be another LLC or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the people who are wanting to know who they are.
Okay, so you guys need.
I know that you have a business license in Massachusetts, but you do not have a business license in West Virginia.
Yeah.
So we're wanting to make sure the people you're working with is.
Okay, cool. So you guys just need to know the exact LLC and their information and all that type of stuff out of West Virginia.
Right. We need to make sure that everybody that's going to be involved in this is legit. It's not some fly-by-night LLC.
Yeah.
That's going to say, you know what, hey, we're just going to take this and pass the buck down to the next person, which we have a lot of flipper LLCs around there to do that.
Yeah, I gotcha. Cool. Yeah, well, we'll take care of that for you. Once we figure out after Thursday, you know, what the verdict is, and if you guys are cool with it, then we'll get you over all that information. If you guys need to meet somebody in person or whatever, we can square that away too.
Okay.
All righty.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, Brian.
All right, good.
Bye-bye.